Welcome in. Tuesday edition, Hot Ice. This is peak 2022 to have three guys in the same building in three different rooms on StreamYard, but that's kind of how it goes. Carl, happy to have you in New York. I'm kind of getting a kick out of it. That's kind of how it goes. So, I guess we'll start with that. How has New York been? Obviously, without spoiling anything. How's it been? You like the smell of garbage? You like the concrete? How's it been?
Yeah, there's some no, I mean there's a little BO in the office, but I'm wearing the sunglasses. We had a late night last night, a couple of boys at McSorley's, can we get 20 light? Can we get 20 dark? Over and over and over again. We just had the boys out. Clem, Larch, Will Compton, Castellani. I mean, you want to talk about just rear ads from the clouds, hanging out with a couple 70-something-year-old Irish guys singing songs in the corner. I never heard the songs before. Play the fucking hits, Rico and Big Ev. It's an unbelievable trip out here, having a fucking blast. I'm not sure we're having a blast out here. And I'm not joking when I also say I eagerly look forward to our 20 minutes together every Tuesday and Thursday morning. This is the least work part of work. So us sitting together, just chopping up with the boys. I'm having a blast, even though I'm in the same building. Can't wait to get done, hang out with you fellas.
Yeah, no, it's been pretty good info too. So that's how it goes. It has been. It's been good. I enjoy it. So new segment basically headlines, but off of that, we're gonna give out a panic meter 1 to 10. There are two teams that you start to look now. It's like, hey, it's no longer like 5 games into the season. Let's start to get a little worried. The first one is in Ev's backyard. The Toronto Blue Jays are 7.5 back. They're in third place in that division, behind obviously the Yankees and Tampa. The problem is 3-6 against the Yankees as well. So like the Yankees definitely seem to have their number. Ev, I mean, you're going to obviously probably give it a higher number, but arbitrary, like what panic number do you give here to the Toronto Blue Jays? Like World Series, my World Series pick, third in their division, 1 to 10. Like where are they at?
As high as you think. I mean, we're still only a month and a half into the season. I mean, 35 or so games. And also the Yankees have just been so red hot that and we're due for a little regression. Like we're not going to sit here and win, 20 and 25 forever. Like that's not, you can't do that all season long. So the Blue Jays, maybe I'll give them a 3 or 4. Like I don't think it's
Okay.
too crazy. We're still pretty early on. The pitching, I'm sure, will come around a little bit. I mean, obviously it's just a tough division too. Like the Rays are starting to heat up. They're playing really good baseball after the first couple weeks they were struggling a little bit. I don't think they have too much reason to be concerned. The only thing with them was coming into the year, like they kind of were like a sexy pick, if you will, just because of how well they ended the season last year. They have all this young talent. They go sign some guys. They signed Barrios, some pitching. But I don't think they should be too worried long term. Like I think when it's all said and done, they're going to be right there in the mix.
Yeah, the thing to me is, I mean, Chapman's been batting 185. And like you said, listen, they pick up 2 games on the Yankees, it's 5, and all of a sudden it's like, it's not that bad. But you lose 2.5, and all of a sudden we're staring at 10 back before Memorial Day. That's where like it can go. So you're giving it a 3 or 4. I'll be honest, I'm probably putting it at like a 5 or 6. It's not full blown like DEFCON 4, but like I said, you could be 10 games up on Memorial Day. That's troublesome. Carl, where are you kind of putting this as somebody in the middle?
I'm going to go 6.6. It's the lead that the Yankees have is not. I'm more focused about the Blue Jays because you want them to ignite. Like forget the rest of the division right now, right? You just look at that lineup when it's healthy on paper. You're a fan of the Blue Jays. You come into the season, it's like, dude, they're stacked at the corners. They're stacked up the middle. They got fucking horses at the back of the rotation. Like this team should take off, and so. If any panic button, it's just like, is there a sense of urgency? This is a very hard division to get on a winning streak and rattle them off. The Yankees are probably going to run into some. They're probably going to rest some guys. There's probably going to be a hamstring here. There's going to be a little fucking elbow there. It's going to happen. So like the Blue Jays, it fucking wins now. I mean, just as much as wins in September. So it's not necessarily panic because it's like, oh, this team isn't what it's meant to be. It's like they're fucking good enough to win 90 fucking 5 games on paper. So like the panic is for me, can they get the fucking show started? So just the 500ness, well, it's a tough game.
No, agreed. Plus 275 if you want to take a look at the Blue Jays to win that division. Flipping sides to the East, this team is in 4th in their division behind the Mets, Phillies, and Marlins now, with having the night off, I think, last night and the Marlins pulling off a win. They're now 7 back of the Mets. Acuna's been out, obviously. That hurts. Played 10 games this year. Duvall hasn't been great. Where do we put the Braves as far as like a panic thing? Carl, National League guy, I'll let you take it.
Well, I mean, it's a tough look for the Braves to win a World Series, let Freddie Freeman walk, make a trade for Matt Olson, and then be fucking sit behind the Miami Marlins here, guys, over halfway through May. That's just a tough fucking look because Freddie Freeman looks fucking great. And I hate to single it out and isolate it to a single player, but, I mean, that's just a tough storyline. Yeah, Kuna's coming back, but the NL East is just too fucking good. And we said at the start of the season, maybe it doesn't have the best teams in it, like the AL East is stacked per se, but the competition top to bottom in the NL East is just absolutely flabbergasted. The Braves, though, remember, if you're in the Braves clubhouse though, and you guys are fucking 16-19 right now, I think, or maybe 17-20 or whatever the record is. Those guys are like, hey, fucking, we were in whatever place last year, won the World Series. Nobody fucking cared about it. So it's those guys might have enough. Ev, I don't know have you been betting the Braves? We usually don't talk that much about the Braves. I haven't either. It's just like they kind of fly. They've been flying on the radar a little bit.
Yeah, I haven't bet them a ton this year. It's funny because obviously going off what you said, I was thinking the same thing where they were a team that was in a very similar spot last year, and then they win the World Series. But I think just with what they did with the personnel this year, I'm gonna give. If you want to do a panic meter on them, I'm gonna give them like a 6. I'm a little more concerned with them than I am with the Blue Jays. I think the Blue Jays have a little bit more to turn things around. The Braves, I think they're gonna. I think when I say in the mix, I'll say I think they're gonna be competing for a playoff spot when it's all said and done. But I agree with you. You're seeing some teams in that division there. Obviously, the Mets have been playing really well. The Marlins have probably been a little better than people expected. They made some sneaky offseason moves that have done well. They were a team I kind of had circled that I thought would be a little bit better. Probably one of the teams that actually has proved me right so far on that regard. But I'm a little more concerned with them for sure. I don't know. They just seem like off. Like maybe, like Carlos said, like you don't want to put, especially baseball, you don't want to put one guy and say Freeman. But I mean, that guy's a staple guy. Like he's your guy, homebred guy. I don't know if they're like he's essentially your pseudo captain. He doesn't have a C on his chest. He's the face of the franchise. You fill him in with another guy. I mean, Olson's having a decent. I don't know. I don't feel as confident in them as I feel like I should or I did going into the season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we talked about it a little bit too. Like, I do still think the Braves are tough and can definitely battle with the Mets. But you know, the Mets right now playing out of their minds, 7-game lead, and still don't have their best player. So like, you got to worry a little bit about the Braves. And I'm usually a pessimistic Mets fan, not pessimistic Frank, but like, call it like it is. I'd put the Braves right there, like 6 or 7. Like, what are we doing? You know, like fourth now. We're behind the Marlins. Like, just that climb. The optimistic thing I would say is I think playoff race wise, it's 2 divisions. I mean, no disrespect, but I guess true disrespect to the Central. I don't really see any wild card teams coming out of the Central unless it's really Cardinals and Brewers. So I should say that. So, like, Cardinals and Brewers are right there, but if one of them goes,
yeah.
To my point, if you're ranking the divisions, the East and West are obviously way better than the Central. Don't get me. I should have phrased that a little bit better. Obviously the Cardinals and Brewers will be in the mix, but I think like the West has 3, the East has 3. Like, they're all going to kind of be battling. So the Braves can put themselves in a spot. It's difficult. I mean, it's tough. You know, like I said, it gets late early around here, if that makes sense. Like, it's already Memorial Day. Next thing you know, it's the middle of June, and then you know, you're battling out in a hard part of the schedule with 9 straight games, and you go 4-5, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, we really needed those. You know, that's just kind of how it goes. So interesting to see these 2 teams, the Braves plus 265 to win that division as well. We talked about it last. The Astros seem to have closed that gap, and the Cardinals are doing. You know what I mean? Like, when we talked these teams, it's a game of runs, it's a game of 10-game stretches. It's kind of how it goes. Second headline, I guess, perfect segue with the Mets. Noah Syndergaard last night was fucking throwing batting practice. Lit up. Couldn't get out of the first inning after obsessing with the Mets. 2/3, 4 hits, 6 runs, 2 walks to the Texas Rangers. Noah, maybe put down the phone, buddy. I like you. You were a good Met. Like, that part of the story, I like him. He's fucking got a cool nickname, you know, but, I mean, dude, obsessing about your ex and then you go get lit? Like, what are we What do we make of that, Carl? What would we talked about it. What is Madden saying to him now? Like, oh, like you.
Oh yeah, Matt. You know what Joe Madden goes? Hey, babe, play with fire. Gonna get burned a little bit there, huh? What do you say? What do you say, babe? So that's Joe Madden just probably giggling about it, like, man, that didn't go well. Noah Syndergaard, though, is just the amount of Mets fans that woke up today, like, invigorated by his failure last night is kind of alarming for, like, if you just want to get a pulse on, like, the general populace of New York Mets fans. But like, you guys are in first place, and I know he said a little, like, cut you guys a little bit, but I just feel like you Mets guys are fucking lunatics.
I'm not over the top like hatred for him. Like, I mean, you tell this story. Like I said, like I have fond memories with him. You making that
you're
run.
Right. No, you're right. But I walked in today and Colin Cooper, who's the producer on Starting Nine, who's like a big Mets fan, was wearing his like fucking Mets no-hitter shirt and was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna show this to Noah Syndergaard today. Like, dude, Noah Syndergaard is a fucking big time pro athlete, bro. I don't think he fucking cares about your shirt, Colin.
Well, he does though, because he's in the mentions. He might have a burner. I think next he's gonna have a burner. Like he's in the weeds. I just worry about like if this guy is your big acquisition, when he goes to LA, and like we said, like you're building a team, and his mental makeup is not there. I used to worry about it with Steven Matz. Steven Matz was like a little leaguer. Something goes wrong. I do think it's good we got rid of these guys because you would watch them. You watch them every day, and something goes wrong, and you'd be like, here we go, like another fucking inning. So you worry about Syndergaard's makeup. That's really all it is. With that said, I don't hate him, but I do. It is laughable now that he's doubling down and tripling down. Ev, what do you make of this? Have you seen a ton of grudges? Like it's a little petty. Like, what's his deal?
No, listen. I rarely do this. I'm going to choose to defend Mets fans here. I actually don't think it's a Mets fans thing. I think it's a New York thing. Because Lord knows if a guy leaves the Yankees, I want him to bet 100. Like, I want him failing miserably. Especially if you're a Syndergaard type like him, like that likes to chirp a little bit and run his mouth a little bit on social media. Like, I want his ERA to be 1,000. So I have zero qualms with Mets fans. Like I'm a big Colin Cooper guy. I'm a good friend. I have zero qualms with him coming in and sticking it to Noah Syndergaard.
He asked for it. When you were replying to SNY, you fucking asked for it. Like, trust me. As a guy who's made comments and then had to go fucking get in the fights, like, you asked for it. I asked for it. You asked for it. That's how it goes.
And also, Noah Syndergaard's a guy who, this is dating back, we're talking 3 years ago to like be in the old, like HQ2, the old office. I remember Hubs writing a blog basically calling him soft because he sat out with like a finger injury or something. And Syndergaard was like texting like Carabas, like legitimately upset.
Yeah,
like,
I didn't know if we were
if a blog like, and I love Hubs, like a blog by Hubs like 3 years, like 3 years ago is about your finger is getting you like legitimately upset where you're like sending text out like you're a softie. Like, come on, guy. Like, it's a baseball writer's writing a blog about you. He called you soft. Like, relax. You're in the show.
I think he was texting KFC too. You guys see that door?
Maybe it was KFC who was texting. But I knew it was somebody in the office.
That's the closet with the bodies. I didn't want to open it. Ev opened the door. I guess now everything's fair. I didn't know we were airing it out. But
I just went nuke on Hot Ice. I
didn't even know I was open.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that was talked about at the time.
I didn't know we were airing it out.
I'm pretty sure he used to fuck around with. I'm just kidding. Of course, he and Alex Cooper have some history. It's Noah Syndergaard. He's an old school barstool personality. If there's somebody where a couple bodies so fall out of the closet, happens to be him. So be it. If he did in fact text a Barstool employee about a blog, like all-time bitch move, all time.
Yeah, it's. I guess it's out in the open now. Like, it's pretty true. So we'll end on that before we got a big ponytail 6'5" guy fucking punching down the glass. That's the last thing I need.
He's gonna come knock on my fucking door in Hoboken.
Yeah, exactly.
A guy who has proven to be sensitive to the conversation we're having right now. I'm sorry.
The Mets play. I think. Do the Mets play the Angels? Because they played the Mariners. So Is he coming
They
back?
must, and maybe in July in the interleague or something.
Somebody
I would think
look
they had
that
to
up.
set that up.
They are playing that division, so
You got the Shore House that weekend. Don't worry about it.
yeah. I'm nowhere near Queens. All right, right into the bets. I'm gonna roll with the Colorado Rockies. They hit Cobb well. They got Chad Kuhl on the mound on the bump. He's 3-1, 2.88 ERA. They've lost, I think, 4 straight to the Giants. The Rockies. They can't go over. I know that's like a bad thing to keep grasping on. You keep chasing the Rockies. Some of them have been close. I like this lineup. We're gonna get to them in the hit parade. I got somebody that is being totally disrespected. But I'm going to go on the Rockies, plus 130. Carl, what are you chasing, plus signs or dogs?
Yeah. My dog of the day, I'm sitting next to Castellani. I'm going, hey, Tigers plus 245 sound a little fucking juicy for me. And he said they're throwing the ball well. The bullpen's pitching with confidence. Bo Brisky, or however you say his guy, you're not going to get a lot out of Brisky today. It doesn't really matter. Tough matchup, obviously. You know, McClanahan's got good stuff, but I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take a dip. I was sitting next to Castellani. We had dinner last night. You know, we talked this morning. He is confident, and I'm confident. I'm taking the Tigers plus 245 is a huge number for one fucking baseball game.
What do you got?
All right, so for me, I'm in the first game. I'm taking the Cardinals here plus 114 against the Mets. Mikolas has been a guy going back. He's having an unbelievable start to the season. ERA in the ones. I think you got a significant pitching edge here at plus money that's just really rare in baseball. Obviously, the line is so predetermined on the starting pitching. I'm pretty sure Trevor Williams is going for the Mets. I mean, Mikolas, huge edge there at plus money. I like the Cardinals plus 114.
These two teams got into some dust-ups. I do think SNY showed it the other night. The Cardinals have won 7 of the last 8 against the Mets or at Citi Field, like something like. Well, where's the Mets on the road?
No, it's in Queens.
It's in Queens, right? Okay, so that's relevant. Yeah, I think the Cardinals are a problem here. I'm a little worried about it. Best bet. I screwed it up. I was counting wrong. I gave out 2 on Cinco de Mayo. I had too much chips and salsa. I had too many fucking burritos. I thought I was 6 for 6. Toronto ends up losing that game close. I'm 5 of 6 in my last bets. Carl, cue me up the beef. Maybe go get the Blues Brothers. Go fucking get me somebody to sing in the 7th inning. Cubs minus 143. I'm fading Brubaker. They've won 3 straight. They're 5-2 in their last 7. They're hitting the ball. Last night was a fucking joke. I don't think it's going to be that easy, but I got to go with the Cubs minus 143. It's not too juicy. I figure like 150, a little higher. Give me the Cubs. I think they can kind of rack it up here against Brubaker and the Pirates. Ev, best bet.
This is the first time I'm doing this. I'm taking a total here, boys. I'm taking the Yankees-Orioles over 8.5 tonight in Baltimore. The Yankees just hit in Baltimore. They really do. I just think they hit Baltimore even better in Baltimore. It seems to me like every year they go there, they just pound the baseball. Got kind of a lucky – got 3 solo home runs in the 9th last year to cash the over. I really like this over. It's 8.5 plus 100. Really, really like it. I think the Orioles score a few runs here. Tyone's been solid, but he's given up some hits even though he's got a pretty good ERA. I think we get to Watkins here. I like the over 8.5 Yankees-Orioles.
Didn't they leave a bunch of guys on base? I had their team total, and I was sweating
quite
it out.
a bit, yes. Quite a bit yesterday, yeah.
Also, the weird fence you were talking about, Carl, or Hubs was talking about, that weird fence was a homer back there. Big Cat was like, oh, that should have been out.
Giancarlo had one that definitely would have been out without the weird
without
fence,
a doubt.
sure.
So I agree with that. I also, like you look at it, the total was close last night, right? What was it, 6-2?
It was like the number was like 7.5. They had three solo home runs in the 9th between the two teams.
Okay, yeah. So it goes over or whatever, but the Yankees left some guys on base. Carl, best bet.
I like the Brewers tonight, minus 120 at home against the Braves. We talked a little bit against the Braves. They're kind of – it's just tough going into Milwaukee. In Adrian Hauser pitched his probably had his 2 worst starts of the year, his last 2 starts out. It's mostly command stuff. You know, if you're just tracking gross totals of like balls and strikes and pitch counts and stuff, this isn't, like 3 of these starts in a row. I don't think so. I do like the Milwaukee, but then they're hot. They're 23-12. They're playing a lot of momentum. They're very, very tough to outscore. I know that's just the fucking name of the game, but like you see the Brewers at home, minus 120 with the starting pitcher. who like can just make a couple adjustments from his last game and like take big steps forward. So I don't know, but I do like the Cubs minus 140.
Yeah.
That's a good pick, Rico. So, but no, I'm going Brewers minus 120 best bet, and I'm ice cold. I am. We said Big Ev, you were ice cold a couple weeks ago. I mean, I honestly can't pick my fucking ass right now, guys. Honest to goodness. So let's have some fun with it. Tigers plus 245 would be huge. The best bet's huge, but I could use a hit parade.
Do you? I have it in front of me, Carl. Would you like the best bet stat? Maybe 5.
Yeah.
Like, you're 1 out of your last 8.
Oh, it's tough.
You do.
Listen, we're gonna drop you in the order, but you're gonna poke one over second base. Then you're gonna get an infield hit, and then you're gonna go deep. You're gonna go 3 in a row. I'm the manager here. You're going 3 in a row. This one's gonna be a sweat out.
I got too cute too. I've been getting a little cute, so
that's how it goes. We'll drop you in the order, and you go get hits. We're not taking you out of the lineup. Don't worry about it, pal. That's how it goes. Here, perfect segue. Hit parade, Carl. I usually go first. You're up first. You go get us the hit.
All right, we're taking. He's 8 for 14 in his fucking career. We're taking Alex Bregman tonight. Alex Bregman to get a hit. He's very hitterish. The Astros obviously out over their last X number of games. I'm taking Alex Bregman, one of the great line drive hitters in Major League Baseball.
All right, and Ev, you.
Aaron Judge, all rise. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Probably the AL MVP right now. Most home runs. He's batting just a shade under 300. Like I said, good lineup. Decently high total tonight. Second in the order. That's it. Judge. He's hit for me every time.
We do share the hit parade because we need to get it priced. So when Ev sent Aaron Judge, we don't share the picks. He sent Aaron Judge. I sent an emoji of a guy riding a bull. Like, ride that motherfucker until he bucks you. Let's go.
I will
Aaron
take him
Judge
every day until he doesn't hit, and then I'll take him some more.
He's definitely been in once a week. Like, this guy can fucking hit. So we'll take it. Real quick, my guy, but I don't want to give it away just yet. What if I told you there was a guy 14th in average in the entire MLB, 7th in his league, 6th in home runs in the entire MLB, 1st in his league in the National League, 6th in RBIs across MLB, 4th in RBIs in the National League, and he wasn't listed on the Barstool Sportsbook for an MVP? It's CJ Cron. Now, the Rockies are not great, but this guy's putting up some great fucking numbers to not even be listed. Like, keep an eye on Cron if he does hit the board. I know how it works. You got to be a winning team, but, whatever. Guy's having a great fucking year after struggling last year. 311 average, 9 homers, 27 RBIs. He bats .278 against Cobb with 3 homers. I'm on the Rockies as a dog. I think CJ Cron completes the picture here and goes to get us a hit. So that hit parade will be priced. We'll get that going. Kind of up against the gun. Anything as far as extra innings? Carl, you prepared? The Mets, I think, are a day game today. Are you prepared to watch a game with Frank in the tank in the office?
I'm ready for a lot of drama and theatrics. But I'll say this. I mean, being in the office with the amount of guys watching day baseball and just like the action, like who's got the first 5 under and who's got the over and who's got the hit and all. I mean, there's honestly nothing better than the buzz in the chatter pre-day. I mean, what the fuck? It's literally just like a Tuesday morning, and you can just already feel like you just know the buzz and the chatter's there. It feels like being in the locker room before a game. You're just kind of hanging out. Like everybody in their mind before a game's going 5 for 5 that day. All the pitchers are going to throw strikes. So like the buzz and the energy's high. We haven't lost our bets. Everybody's undefeated today. Like, so that's what I'm. And the cave's chatty. Cave is very chatty today, guys. Yeah, it's a very chatty. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. A lot of riffraff in there too, right, Ev?
Oh yeah.
Hey, we're on your turf. I mean, it's got to be tough when you come in there and you see White Sox Dave with his feet up on the table, and you see me fucking taking a nap. I mean,
no, the riffraff is homegrown. Let's just say that. The hit parade is priced. It's
a little breaking news.
Plus 180. Plus 180. We're gonna go get that. We're due. We're still plus units. We're gonna go get that. Oh yeah, Carl. These are homegrown guys. Our locker room, but you got to identify riffraff. That's how it goes. So, all right, another great show. Pick Central coming up. That is Hot Ice. See you guys later.